pull the trigger. It's hard. It's really hard. Follow your passion. Know what you really love to do. Stay focused. But sooner or later, you got to talk and all no action. You got to pull the trigger. And it's going to be hard. It's hard. If I could redo it, I would go out my own right away. Because I'm a thinker, I'm a doer. And as a child, think about what you like. If you think you're good at working for someone in that structure, then go for it. But very early on, figure out, you know what, I'm not a structure kind of person. I like to be outside. I like to think. Then put a plan together to work for yourself. Because it's very rewarding, and you do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. And then you're more fulfilled, if you will. Does that make sense? So as you're young, start figuring that out. Am I going to be structured, or am I going to be my own thing? And be your own thing.
All right. Good morning, Savannah, and welcome to the Savannah Business Showcase. I'm your host, Taraz, and I'm here with Laurie Brown, very special guest. She's the owner of Aunt Laurie's and AuntLaurie's.com. She's also the 2017 SCORE National Outstanding Community Impact Business Awardee winner. What do you say?
All right. Awardee, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for being on the show. The purpose of the show is to inspire business owners to take action and jump, and people who want to start a business, entrepreneurs sitting on the sidelines, to take action, and also to showcase you and your business. So I like to start with a scenario, and here we go.
Here we go.
You're walking through your neighborhood. A little kid comes up to you and says, "Laurie, you're my hero. I want to be like you when I grow up." Right? So in the language that a 10 or 12-year-old can understand, what does it take to be Laurie Brown?
It takes guts, and it takes courage, and it takes a clear vision or thought on what you really love to do. So I would tell someone very young to start thinking and learning about themselves and what they're passionate about, what really makes them happy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say happy, meaning they really feel fulfilled when they're doing something, whether it's drawing or playing basketball or helping people or swimming, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's got to be something that all of a sudden you're like, this is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Amazing. I like that. Okay, so give us a little bit of backstory. Who's Laurie? Where are you from? How'd you get here?
All right. Well, Laurie Brown is from Michigan. I spent most of my life in Michigan, and I worked in the automotive world. So almost 20 years at General Motors.
Okay.
And 9 years at Volkswagen Group of America.
Okay.
Traveled the world. I got educated. It was phenomenal. I appreciate it. I was blessed. Became very unfulfilling, and that gets to where you follow your passion and you make yourself happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I left the corporate world. My husband and I, we moved down to South Carolina 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I met with SCORE, and we talked through all of our passion. What were your passions? What am I passionate about? What are my skill sets that I bring from the corporate world? And we put all that together, and we wrote a business plan. And that business plan evolved around helping those with disabilities. That is my true passion in life. And it's all types of disabilities. And I'm an animal lover.
Okay.
So we put all that together, and I now work with more than 20 organizations around the country, and it's been almost 3 years now. And we help people with disabilities, but the vehicle to do that is gift baskets. And that is all done at the Rehabilitation Center in Beaufort, South Carolina, which is not too far here from Savannah. It's about 25 minutes. And they're all hand woven. So I buy the materials. So clients that are overcoming any form of disability actually hand weave every Aunt Laurie basket. They sign the bottom of them, so there's that personal connection. And all of the products that we put in these baskets either come from small business that are local here, or from an organization that employs disabilities. So, for example, dog biscuits are baked by autistic adults. They're from an organization called Waggies.
Okay.
And they ultimately, I buy the product, so I'm helping the organization, ends up at the warehouse in Beaufort at the Rehabilitation Center, and then we will build a dog gift basket. Ceramics are painted at Programs for Exceptional People. Candles are made at the Neurological Center in North Carolina. I have soaps and lotions and biscottis that come from an organization called Smile out in Arizona. So you'll see that at least 50% of our product comes from somebody very special learning a job skill. High quality, all ends up again in Beaufort, and then you can pick and pack. You can actually customize the gift basket on AuntLaurie.com.
Okay.
And that was another mission I had, is if we're going to do something personal and you're going to help people with disabilities, why not make the gift that you're sending also personal? So you can hand pick that soap and that lotion and that peanut brittle and whatever you want to build, so that when you're sending that basket home to Michigan or to Ohio or to Chicago or wherever you live, or we also deliver locally, you know that there is a personal touch to that because you pick those products. And then, oh, by the way, the more important thing is that someone with a disability not only picked and packed it, but assembled it and hand wrote the note card that goes into every basket. And the note card explains the really awesome people behind your gift. And then you can get a handwritten note that goes into that basket, and it's shipped for that genuine connection.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is a really great idea.
It's really cool, actually. Yeah, it's very rewarding. It's, again, following your passion, and that is my passion. And I mentioned my dog-loving aspect of this. I have a therapy dog, and his name is Trapper. And Trapper travels around with me. He gives presentations.
Nice.
So we've done the 1 million cup presentation, and Trapper was there. We do B&I presentations and Rotary Club, but we also, more importantly, visit nursing homes and hospitals, and we do the autistic school where the children walk him and brush him, and we've done Bible school, and we do all sorts of things. So Trapper is integral in helping Aunt Laurie reach the community with that touch of that connection, that personal connection. And everybody loves. He's like a big polar bear, so he does quite well in these presentations. So that's my tie to the animal and the disability.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I think it is. I mean, so a little background on me. My first 3 years outside of college, the first year I worked at a psychiatric group home where I was working with schizophrenic kids and teenagers and all the range, right? And then I went to a disabled. I went to the severe and profoundly disabled kids at a high school in North Carolina, because I'm from North Carolina. And one of the best parts of my life was that time spent with these kids, because I learned so much. So I love what you're doing. I guess that's all I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
I gave you my backstory to tell you I really love it.
No, it's very special. It's very genuine. When I walk in, for instance, programs for exceptional people, I actually buy the ceramics. So they paint ornaments for me, dog bowls, a variety of things for me. But I'll walk in with the ceramics, and I've been doing this now for a couple years. And they're very shy, and different people, different individuals are there. But now they're getting to know me, and they know that purple is my branding, and they're like, Aunt Laurie, you look so pretty today. And so now they hug me and kiss me, and I'm like, that's what it's about. It's not about me. It's not. It's that. Yeah, it's very rewarding. Yeah.
So what was so you gave me the tie-in with the pets. What's the tie-in with the disabled and the disabled population?
Every product that I mentioned. So, for instance, we have programs for exceptional people, the Rehab Center, Extraordinary Ventures, Berrytown Crafts, Sensibilities, Crafters for Life. I just came from Goodwill Industries in Savannah, and all of those are what I call my friends, or my partners. They are organizations that employ disabled adults working to either feel more productive in life, feel learning a work skill, or even just a life skill. So that is my connection to that community.
I guess what I'm asking is, like, what is it about you that draws you to that community?
Because I was born with that.
Okay.
It was an innate. I can't explain it.
Okay.
I'm very blessed with good health, education, family, all of that. But I remember being very young, taking swimming class. And I always migrated to the one young girl that had some form, I don't know what it was, disability. I would just swim over there and help. So that's just my nature. I was born with it.
Okay.
I can't truly explain it, actually.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, in my head, it's kind of, they're the only people who need help, but they're also like the happiest people in the world at the same time. You know, like when I was, and they're the most honest.
Yes.
You know, if they're mad, they're mad. They're gonna tell you. If they're happy, it's true happiness.
Yes.
And when you be around them, you're around the authenticity of a person. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
It is attractive.
They're very good workers. They're very loyal. They're very happy to work. Everyone has a different skill, and the mission of Antler, our actual mission statement, is to inspire others to acknowledge the human value in everyone. And so everyone has human value. It's different levels. Everybody has different ability. You and I have different abilities. So when you're with those different individuals, finding that niche that makes them not only happy but feel productive, and then you give them very specific direction, they are the best workers. They'll show up for work on early, actually, a couple hours early. They want to leave. There's one gentleman that actually is a Special Olympian that I get to know quite well.
Nice.
Equestrian, tennis, gold medals, all of that. And he's been at his job now at the Hampton Inn for 10 years.
Wow.
And he loves it. He was Employee of the Year last year, and he has a specific form of disability, but he is the best employee, and he's thrilled to work. In fact, he may come work a little bit for me and help me do delivery. And
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So, take a step back. What did you do at Ford?
It was General Motors.
I'm sorry.
Ford was a competitor, but that's okay. That's okay. I was. I actually started at Cadillac Motor Car Division. I was always in the after sales, so service, diagnostic, special tools, warranty parts, service, owner literature, maintenance schedules. So if you bought a car from General Motors, specific Cadillac or Saturn, I spent 16 years at the Saturn Corporation. So I was one of the originals that helped set the company up. It was my job and our department's job to take care of you as a customer.
Gotcha.
So I took that skill from Cadillac and General Motors and went over to Volkswagen Group of America, where I worked on Volkswagens, Audis, Bentleys, Bugattis, Lamborghinis, all of those. Yeah,
Beautiful
it was
cars.
nice.
Yeah.
But always in the service arena. So it was my job to make sure your car got fixed appropriately. But along the way, I learned customer service, customer satisfaction, logistics, HR, finance. So all of those skills are very important when you start to run your own business. So
very
you
important.
kind of acquire those skills. And maybe different at a corporate level, my budget was much different than it is now, but I at least understand the importance of a budget, setting a budget, following a budget, and managing that. Yeah, they're very important skills.
And I apologize for dropping the F-bomb.
It's all right.
I didn't mean to know.
It's all right. My husband's father worked at Ford, so we had General Motors, Ford. It's good. Yeah.
Okay, so what drew you to, so you decided to start a business, like what drew you to SCORE instead of just, like most people don't go to a mentor first, like why did you decide to go to a mentor and get mentorship first?
Actually, before I arrived, I was researching online, and I found the organization. I knew of it, but I didn't know a lot of the details. And so in my research, before I actually landed in South Carolina, I set up an appointment with a mentor. And it is free and it's confidential. And I said, I got this itch to open a business. I have these passions, and that's where it started. So they pair you up with a mentor that is sort of, they start with who they think will work well with you, knowing that it was a brand new business. That's how they pick the mentor.
Gotcha.
But you can end up working with multiple mentors if you want to just tweak your business plan, or maybe you already existing and you want to write your marketing plan, or maybe you need help with cash flow. So you could end up working with multiple mentors. But
Gotcha.
SCORE, it's free, and obviously when you are a new business owner, money is important.
Yes.
And it was not intimidating. It was very comfortable. It's private. And I still, in fact, tomorrow I have another meeting, because even though I'm in business, there's always something that you're working on. So yeah, it was very rewarding. We won the Client of the Year 2 years ago. From the Low Country chapter, and that was an honor. I was thrilled. Yeah.
So what do you think you're doing differently? Because in 3 years is a short amount of time for business, kind of like the make or break point, right? And you're excelling and you're taking off. So like, what do you think you're doing differently than other businesses that couldn't make it at this point?
I network like crazy. I do this kind of thing because I like to meet people. I like to tell the story, but you have to get in front of people. You have to show your passion. They have to see you. They have to get to know you. and you have to get out of your comfort zone. I never was good at sales, but I have to kind of do that now. So I learned that story selling, just telling your story. It's not about me, it's about my story. And it's about those cool people. So I think I do that quite well. Logistics, I understand logistics, and I had to learn and grow and overcome the cost element of shipping around the country. So you got to be open-minded. I learned that putting gift baskets in retail environment probably wasn't a good idea. I tried it. I did okay, but it wasn't great. So you kind of got to be flexible and learn along the way. And if you fail, you just keep going. You know,
that's true.
It's going to happen.
It's definitely going to happen.
And
every day. Almost.
Yeah, it is disappointing. You know, I got to say, you don't take that with a grain of salt.
Right.
But you got to say, you know what? That didn't kind of work. That didn't go so well. And you move on.
That's right. Yeah. Our goal is always to get back up. So speaking of networking, I can't even say it. Speaking of networking, you host the Thrive Women's Entrepreneurship Conference.
Yes.
Okay. What's the technical name? I've messed it up.
Thrive, the Low Country Women's Conference.
Low Country Women's Conference.
Yes.
Thrive Low Country Women's Conference. Okay. Awesome. So how did that come into existence, and what are you trying to achieve with it?
Okay. Well, being a female business owner, going to SCORE, I noticed there was kind of a theme of male dominance there, and they know that.
Okay.
And I said, you know, we don't do a whole lot of things, I guess, structured for women. We do luncheons and things, but why don't we think about this? And they're like, okay, Aunt Laurie. So my mentor is now the president of the chapter.
Okay.
They talk to other chapters, SCORE chapters around Georgia and South Carolina, and said, yeah, you know, that there were other chapters that did something, but maybe not as grand. And of course, we had to do it big, right? If we're going to do something, do it, right?
That's right.
So they said, you know what? If you help us, we're in. So that's what started it, and that was almost a year ago. And so I was behind the scenes with the Chamber of Hilton Head and Bluffton, and then several of the SCORE mentors, and we put together a plan to launch the inaugural Thrive. And it was intended to help women, not only business owners, people thinking of owning a business, people who are already in business, professional, students, anybody within the community or outside of the community that wanted to spend a whole day for professional and personal growth. So we started out, we had vendors there, and then we had some awesome speakers in the morning, and then we all had lunch together. Then we broke out and we did breakout sessions, and that could have been anywhere from how to be happy to, I did branding. I talked about personal and professional branding, to plant-based diets, to exercise, to you name it, we had it. There was 20 of us. And then we all got back together and we had a finishing session with a very inspirational speaker. And we had 150 women. It was 2 weeks ago. And we're already planning 2018 Thrive.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So you need to come and join us.
I want to. I definitely want to. I would love to be a part of it. So like what do you want to just keep doing it every year? Like what are your goals with it? What are you hoping to achieve?
Absolutely. We want to grow it. We had an evening reception the evening before to get to know everybody. So yeah, we're definitely going to grow it. We want more women. We want more speakers. But it's a place where SCORE was there. We had a SCORE booth, so that if you are thinking of opening a business, or just you're already a business but you're struggling, introduce SCORE to other potential clients or even mentors. We're always looking for mentors to come in, and so they've recruited me, so I'm a mentor now, which is good. I love it, because I also go to schools. I love talking to students. I go to colleges, and Trapper comes with me. We do stress busters between final exams and that. So we're always looking for mentors and mentorees, and that was sort of a perfect environment for that as well. But yeah, it'll be annual for sure.
That's awesome.
And then I do really Low Country Lady Luncheons once a quarter.
Okay.
And those are Aunt Laurie sponsored. I get 60 or 70 women, so it's a smaller Thrive, if you will. Yeah.
That's awesome. So it seems like you figured out the best way to sell for yourself, right? And that's being in front of people. You know, like, it's not necessarily online marketing. It's not a whole bunch of Facebook ads. It's just being in front of people.
Yes.
And showing them.
But there's a method to that. It's not about me, and it's not about Aunt Laurie. There's a genuine connection. Like for those Low Country luncheons, it's not about Aunt Laurie or me. Yes, I sponsor it. Yes, I pull it together. Yes, you will see an Aunt Laurie booth there. Excuse me. But it's about the women. It's about the connection to the community. It's about helping people. That's what Aunt Laurie is about. That's my marketing approach. And oh, by the way, if you want to learn more about these cool baskets that we do, I'd be happy to tell you. But it's not about me. No, not at all.
I can feel it. I can tell that it's true. It's authentic and honest. That's true. Okay.
Good.
That's awesome, because that's the way I want to sell. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to learn from you here, and I feel it. So what? So selling, like you said, nobody likes to sell, especially down in the South. Nobody likes to be up in your face. They want to kind of get to know you and kind of back into a deal. So how do you approach people? How did you find your target market? Who is your target market?
It's well, let me take that in pieces,
Okay.
if you will. Are you familiar with BNI? Business Network?
Yep.
Giver's Gain. So I don't approach you unless initially I want to learn more about Terrace, about you. What do you like? What do you tick? That's my approach. If you decide 3 or 4 meetings down the road that you need help with a gift, fantastic. I've made a connection to you. But it's how can I help you? What do you need? And oh, by the way, if you need a gift basket or you need something for your aunt back in North Carolina, then I can help. But I listen to people, and I'll remember what you like, where you're from. You told me you had Minnesota, Chicago, and I remember all of that. So it's how you connect with people, and then down the road, that connection. And it might take 2 years, a year. I've worked on a lot of clients where it took 2 years. And by the way, you know what, Aunt Laurie, I'm ready. I think I need some gifts now. I'm like, great, I'm here.
Yeah.
So that's one approach I take. But obviously, if I'm running a business, I have to ultimately approach. So I start with an email that's very professional. I follow up. I do my research. As a business owner, you better know who your customers are, who your competitors are, how to price. So there's a lot of research. And then I find, target market, for instance, would be resorts or vacation rental companies that you rent a vacation rental, there's an Aunt Laurie gift basket sitting there. And oh, by the way, it's personal because we know you like to golf or you like the beach or whatever it is. So there's that basket in there. So that is so obviously I'm going to approach the DeSotos or the Marriotts or, that's obviously target. But I research what they like, how many rooms, what are the events that are coming to that hotel and when. So there's a lot of research. I just don't willy-nilly. There's a plan.
Right.
I guess that's a good. So you have to plan your marketing
Yeah.
and know who your market is.
Yeah.
Obviously, other individuals that want to go online, those are one basket, one at a time. And that's fine too.
Yeah.
So you have to market to that as well, and that's where I have Facebook and social media, and my newsletter comes in and
Gotcha.
Trapper, he's consistency.
Okay.
There's that consistent
Yeah.
message always. Yeah.
How did you come to meet Trapper?
Trapper, we've always had 2 or 3 dogs all along, and Trapper came from Michigan. He's actually from Russia,
Okay.
and one of my back to my mission
Yeah.
was to always have a therapy dog. But I was busy traveling the world, working 70 hours a week. I never had time. Got down to South Carolina, and I had that couple weeks. And Trapper had the characteristics, if you will. He's very calm. He's very easy to train. And so I had that little snip of time, and then I saw the test, and I'm like, that's it. We're taking the test. So we did the pre-test. He did better than I did because it's a couple-hour test. And then you take a written test. So we did the test, and we passed with flying colors. And then now he's got his little certification, and I have my badge. And so that's that tie-in. Yeah. He was perfect for it.
Okay.
And he gets better everywhere we go.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't. All this is over my head. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know anything about therapy dogs. So what I understand it a little bit, but can you explain it to me just a little bit more?
There's 2 different kinds. There's a therapy dog and a service dog.
Okay.
A service dog is more formal, for instance, leader dog for the blind, that's a good example. Very specific, very 1.5, 2 years worth of training. That's a service dog. They can go onto airplanes and restaurants and all of that. A therapy dog is someone that comforts people. He can't go on an airplane. He can get into some of the restaurants and things. We can go into hospitals and nursing homes with pre-notice, and I have proof of his therapy. But he's a comfort dog, and that's the easier way to think about it.
Okay.
But it is a pretty rigid test. I mean, it's obedience. It's he's trained not to take medicine. He's trained not to take anything off the floor unless I tell him he can. He's very, very obedient, very gentle, very kind, because he's with children, he's with older, and he's with the sick, usually.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So he's
the exact opposite of my dog.
Well, of his brothers. I got 2 others but yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Well, we got a few more minutes before we go to break. What else can we talk about? Let's talk about your basket. Some like who's your? You told me a little bit about the target market. You told me about it comes from your passion, but like where did the idea spark that baskets were the answer?
Yeah. Well, back to the passion. So it had whatever my business was, it had to be something to help people with disabilities. So as I went to Goodwill, talking with them and the vocational rehab, as I'm in there, because I didn't quite know exactly. I knew that I was in the right spot, but as I was talking to the center's manager, I spot this basket sitting on her desk. And it's like meant to be. I believe in God puts us in places we are meant to be. And I said, where does that come from? And she says, oh, we used to make these baskets years ago for a company, and the gentleman unfortunately passed away, and we have all the material. And I'm like, really? And that's where it sparked. It was like that little tap on my shoulder, like baskets, because we could put products made by people with disabilities. We could make them here and ship them. And it was like, ding, that was it.
Yeah.
It was like, that was the very start of it.
That's amazing.
Because I was there to actually see if they could make dog beds, because they have sewing capabilities.
Okay.
Or could you make ceramics, or could you do something in the wood shop? So it was like meant to be.
Yeah. And then I wonder, like, what was the first action you took? So you had the spark. You saw the opportunity. What was the first action that you took?
Back to my SCORE mentor and said, look, I'm thinking of dog beds. I'm thinking of this. I got this basket. So they time studied it so that we could get cost. How much is that going to cost for the Goodwill or for the rehab center to make that basket? What's the cost? Because without being cost competitive, I needed to start. So that's the first piece. How much does that basket cost? How much does your inventory cost? How much is it going to cost to put the basket together? How much is it going to ship? And then you put all those elements together to price your product. And then I had to figure out, am I going to do retail? Am I going to do online? Am I going to do a mix? And so you kind of take it in steps.
Gotcha.
And that's where your mentor comes in, because they're like, are you sure you really want to do that? Or let's put that on paper and figure the cost element of that. Yeah, so data is very important to a business owner.
True.
Very important.
Okay. All right. Laurie, I'm impressed. We are going to take a break.
Okay.
But I'm very impressed. I need a mentor now, so I'm going to talk
I'm
to you
here.
after.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So thank you guys for listening in. We'll be right back in just a second after a break to continue our conversation and put Aunt Laurie through the lightning round. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Once again, Aunt Laurie Brown of AuntLauries.com. All right, Savannah, we're back. This is Taraz, the host of the Savannah Business Showcase. I'm here once again with Laurie Brown of AuntLauries.com, owner and operator of Laurie's Baskets.
We're back.
Yeah, and we're back.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so are you ready for the lightning round?
I am. I'm ready.
All right. What did you want to be as a kid, and how does that relate to your current business?
I wanted to be a veterinarian because I'm an animal. Obviously, I'm an animal lover. Decided I didn't want to do 12 years to school, and it took me 12 years anyways. But anyways, yes, veterinarian.
How have you approached failure in life?
It's not easy for me. I like to excel. I get mad, and then I'm like, all right, get over it. But I get mad sometimes at myself, like, how could you do that? But you got to move on, you got to just keep going. Yeah.
Who influenced you early in life, and who's your mentor now?
Who influenced me early? My mom and dad. Very focused, if you're going to do something, do it right. Be honest, work hard. I don't expect anything for free. And I hope that the people that I work around learn from that. So mom and dad for sure. my mentor at SCORE right now, God.
Mm.
I follow him. He follows me. He takes care of me.
Mm-hmm. The idea of doing things right, and if you're gonna do it right. That's a very Midwestern thing, like a blue collar Midwestern thing.
Is it?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
I guess it's Southern too, but I hear it more. Like I hear it said by people more up in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just from my little bit of travels in Illinois and Minnesota and
Yeah.
stuff.
I have a passion for anyone that trying to do their true best.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're lazy and you're just trying to get around something, I have zero tolerance for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Advice for new entrepreneurs.
Pull the trigger.
Mm.
It's hard. It's really hard. Follow your passion. Know what you really love to do. Stay focused. But sooner or later, you got to talk and all no action. You got to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be hard. It's hard.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a story about a failure.
For Aunt Laurie or just in general?
Aunt Laurie, let's stick with
Okay.
business. Yeah.
I worked I got two of them that come to mind, very, very, very hard to get one of my first big vacation rental companies. And I
Okay.
was like psyched, and I did samples and I did all sorts of stuff, and I had the gentleman's soul, I had everybody sold, and then they had to go to the corporate world headquarters. And the corporate world headquarters had different plans. I didn't get the job. I was crushed.
Mm-hmm.
I was mad. I went through all of that. But I had to say, you know what, it wasn't meant to be. Maybe God didn't want me to have that. And it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because the longer I thought about it, it was a faraway account. It would have been hard, but I was crushed.
Mm-hmm.
But I moved on, and I got another different account, and it was actually better. And so,
Yeah.
anyways, there
Yeah.
you go.
Okay,
I moved on.
Yeah. So, advice for an entrepreneur who's about to go through a similar failure.
I don't want to say you expect it, but be prepared and get mad. It's okay to get mad, but stay professional. Don't fire off an email. Don't just go home and run around or do whatever you got to do, but then get back focused and say, okay, whatever I did there, maybe it wasn't all that bad, but take that lesson and apply it and make it even better to the next customer, to the next sale, or to the next product you're trying to design, or the service. Because there's always an element there that was still good, a good crumb. And I learned how to put great prototypes together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. How did you get your first client?
Ooh. Who was my first client? Networking. Getting in front of them. Network. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember launching at Laurie's. I was at a women's business expo in Bluffton, South Carolina.
Okay.
Had my little table, and the first lady, I remember the lady that bought it. I still have the $10 bill sitting on my desk. So if you say that's not really a client, but that's a customer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First customer, first client. Do you have any siblings?
A sister.
A
Yep,
sister,
back in
okay.
Michigan. Yep.
Okay. What part of Michigan are you from again?
Hour north of Detroit,
Okay. What's the name of the town?
Clarkston, Michigan.
Clarkston. Okay. All right. I think I've heard of that. Do you have kids?
Nope, I have 3 dogs. They're my boys.
Okay.
100 pounds apiece, and I love them to death.
Okay.
And Trapper's one of them. Yes.
Awesome. I would say, what do you teach your children about entrepreneurship, or your dogs? But I don't know. I guess Trapper helps.
You know what?
Trapper helps.
Animals are very good for business owners because they're loyal, they're honest, unconditional love, and those skills, those characteristics are good for any manager, actually. So if you're going to manage people, think about communication. I got to clearly communicate to Trapper. He doesn't know what I want him to do. So make sure you clearly communicate to your customers, to your clients, to your employees. So a lot of what you do with an animal actually is very valuable with human. Yeah.
What have you had to sacrifice in order to start your business?
Money. I spent more money than I self-funded my business, and I spent more than I anticipated, which is fine, but money, time. But I love to work, so I hesitate to say time, but I do work 7 days a week, but it doesn't seem like work, but time.
Gotcha.
I still try to carve. I cook dinner a lot. I'm home in the evening, but I'm working. I won't lie to you. I'm still working at home, but time and my golf game, probably.
Okay.
It's not so good anymore.
Did you used to be good?
Yes,
Yeah?
I did. I must say, I used to be decent.
Okay.
Yeah, I met my husband on a golf course.
Oh, nice.
So we have this competition.
Okay.
And now he whips me.
Did you used to beat him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah. So now we have a friendly competition.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go. I never played. I like disc golf. I don't know if you ever played that.
I have not. I have. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like disc golf a little more, but I've never been too into golf. What's the one thing in business that drains you of energy, and what's the one thing that excites you?
I love the challenge of meeting new people, getting a new client. It's that challenge of it.
Mm-hmm.
Every day is different. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other disappointment or the
Yeah, something that drains you of energy.
drains me? And I don't tolerate. And I don't know if this is about business, but dishonesty and accountability, lack of account. If you're working with somebody, I don't tolerate that very well.
Yeah, if you say you're gonna do something,
Do it. And at least, and if you can't, tell me why, or at least give me the courtesy to. But don't hide behind that. Yeah,
Right.
I don't do it.
Especially in a small town like this, because everybody knows. It's like
And I don't care if you're in
everybody
a
I meet
big
knows
town.
everybody. Yeah.
Exactly. But even I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
very
that's true.
honest, very loyal, very ethical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like unethical things in life.
What's something you consume religiously? Could be like a blog, TV show, YouTube channel, podcast, food.
Pizza. I love pizza. I don't like TV. TV is just annoying to me. It's babble. I like to read very upbeat, positive reading books.
Okay.
I like to learn. So I'm constantly trying to learn something.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book?
Well, I don't know that I have a favorite. I love Stephen Covey.
Yeah.
And I love Norman Vincent Peale.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to read a lot of the B&I books on how to be a good manager, how to be a good networker, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And finance.
Okay.
I actually like finance.
Okay.
Like the
I
stock
think we all
market.
should. Oh, okay, like the stock
Not
market.
yeah, I don't like spreadsheets and that, but I do like the stock market.
Okay.
That fascinates me, but I think it's the challenge of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I like to travel. My husband and I like to travel.
Got you. Where'd you go this year? Have you been anywhere this year?
Mediterranean cruise. We
Oh,
just
nice.
came back from the Amalfi Coast and Italy and Greece and
Nice.
Malta and yeah,
Yeah. I bet it was pretty beautiful out there.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
First vacation since I started in my business.
3 years.
And it was very hard for me to go, and it was great.
Yeah.
I needed that.
Probably a lot of purple out there, huh? You probably fit in pretty
Purple
good.
on it every day. Yeah, that's my branding. It's consistent.
Right. Yeah.
Any new business owner needs to be very cognizant of your image, personally, professionally, and you need to be consistent, whether it's social media, your marketing, your printing, your presence, wherever you're at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and that was my first impression of you. Like when I was running to meet you at the church out there on the street, I didn't see everybody looked the same, but then I saw a lady in purple.
Here I
I was like, it's probably her. So I'm gonna go
Panicked because I was lost. Yeah. Yep, that was me.
What's something most people don't know about you?
I'm an athlete.
Okay.
I grew up with my dad. I'm the son my dad never had. So I can throw a curveball. I'm a golfer. I was going to be a professional bowler.
Wow.
But I can tile. I can cut grass. I'm very capable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My in-laws are also big into bowling, so that's pretty cool. How do you stay motivated every day?
By helping the people that I help. And I like to help not just people with disabilities, but anyone. I like meeting you, and this is really kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me motivated. I like to be challenged. I like to learn, and I like to do. I'm a doer. I don't like talking. I don't like people talk. I'm a doer. I want to do something. I don't like to sit. I'm either sleeping or doing. There's nothing in between there. Yeah.
What's the last experience that made you a stronger person?
Thrive. That conference was a lot of work. It was very rewarding to see it come to life, and that was just a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And the award I just won was you mentioned it when we started the. I won Aunt Laurie's won a national award for the outstanding community impact. So there's
Pretty
11
amazing.
of us.
Yeah.
And there were 11 different categories.
Mm-hmm.
But I won the outstanding, and that was just surreal. We were in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Got this big award, and yeah, it was cool. Trapper was in the video,
Okay.
yeah, of course. And yeah, I'll send you the link. It's actually pretty
please do.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I didn't know it was national, so that's
It
that's
was
really,
a national award. Yeah.
You said you like to cook, so when was the last time you had an amazing meal?
An amazing that I cooked, or
no,
anything?
that you just had one.
Over in Greece. I've sat and ate a big Greek traditional meal,
Yeah.
cooked sitting there looking at the Acropolis
Mm.
in Athens. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
What does a traditional Greek meal include?
Oh, your pita and your hummus and your it was I don't know if I'm saying it right. Gyro, whatever it is.
Who
The
knows?
lamb with the vegetables and the
Yeah.
olive oils and the pita breads.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Sounds great. What do you miss most about being a kid?
Running around, just running free. Yeah, I used to bike and run and run. I mean, I still move a lot. You probably
Yeah.
can tell that.
Yeah.
But just that sheer blast of doing whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
Although I try to do that anyways. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Um,
I really don't like to go think back. I'm always kind of going
thinking
forward.
It's hard to think back.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. It's hard to. It's like I don't. It's a uncomfortable feeling. Like just okay, back to business. Yeah. What story does your family always tell about you? And then we'll start thinking forward.
Wow. That's an interesting question. I can't think of one. A story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
Okay, we can pass. It's fair enough.
Yeah, let's pass on
Okay.
that one. A story. Sorry.
What's a tool? It could be an app, a website, or a physical tool that you couldn't run your business without.
A software tool, or well, obviously my phone, because I'm in constant contact with everyone. Constant contact is one
Okay.
that I do all my database collecting and all my newsletters and things.
Okay.
My website for sure.
Okay.
Facebook. Because constant contact, I do my newsletters and things. Facebook is my social media main platform. LinkedIn is a piece of that
Mhm.
element.
Mhm.
On my website for sure, because that's my main contact
Right.
with my customers.
There's a concept of Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. 20% of your actions equal 80% of your results. So in your business, what are the 20? What are the small things you do? The 20% that you do that gets you the most results.
Exceeding customer expectations. Somebody will call and say, "Aunt Laurie, I gotta have this gift." I'm like, "When?" They're like, "Today."
Mm.
I can make that happen. Now, if you call one of my competitors, they might say, "Well, I can't. We can't do that." That comes back to my experience back in the automotive, exceeding customer expectations. Listen to what your customers need, but don't just do it, you exceed it. So I go above and beyond no matter what. I try to go above and beyond no matter what. And do little special things for people that they notice.
Yeah.
People notice.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel that this is your life's calling?
Yes, absolutely. I love it.
Is there a quote that's always been a mantra that you live by?
Life's a mission, not an intermission.
Mm. Okay, explain that. Expound more.
Follow your mission in life. Don't sit on the sidelines.
Mm.
I'll talk, no action kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in. If you're sitting around, maybe you don't feel good or you're not, you got to get up and start moving. You got to do something. Go forward. Do every day. You got to keep moving. So sitting on the sidelines doesn't get you anywhere, but probably pretty sad or lonely or depressed or whatever.
Right.
Everybody has, you might do, maybe your abilities are different, but make an effort.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
Mm.
Make it a mission. Follow your mission, your passion. Pull the trigger.
Yeah. I've never heard it like that before. Life's a mission, not an intermission. Kind of the same thing as you're either growing or you're dying.
Yep.
That's all life.
Mm-hmm.
You're either growing or you're dying. Okay, a few more. Do you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert, and why?
Introvert, because this is new to me. I mean, I've learned to do this, but you won't if I go to a party, my husband's the one who can talk and he mingles, and I'm not a mingler.
Gotcha.
Unless it's a business arrangement, I'm not a good mingler, so I'm more of an introvert.
Yeah. I've noticed the introverts do better in this situation because even though
it's one-on-one,
right? There's nobody else here. It's just me and you having a conversation. Yeah. I've noticed introverts do a lot better. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
It sounds trite, but I live near Hilton Head Island, and that is my dream, and we live where we want to live. That is it. We're living the dream.
2 more.
Okay.
If you had a superpower or ability, what would you choose and why?
That's a good one. I would want to give people the energy and the wherewithal to do what they want to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't want to do it for them, but I want to help them figure out what you like to do so that you go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So be that influence. That would be my superpower, to be this like master influencer that gets people doing what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And get them out of their comfort zone and get them thinking and get them working and doing.
Yeah. I can tell that's a theme in your life is just action, right? Like, where do you think that comes from? Or is it just something you were born with?
I was born with it.
Yeah.
My dad was a hard worker, good worker. My mom worked 2 jobs. I mean, we're workers. But, yeah, I was just born with that.
Yeah. Just get out there and do something.
Get it. Do it. Do something.
Get it in. All right. And last one, advice for entrepreneurial kids.
Kids?
Yeah, kids. Yeah.
It's interesting because I grew up in the corporate world, and that's all I knew, and I was good, and I appreciate it. But if I could redo it, I would go out my own right away, because I'm a thinker, I'm a doer, and as a child, think about what you like. If you think you're good at working for someone in that structure, and you are okay with that structure, then go for it. But very early on, figure out, I'm not a structured kind of person. I like to be outside. I like to think. Then put a plan together to work for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because it's very rewarding, and you do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. And then you're more fulfilled, if you will. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Makes complete sense.
So as you're young, start figuring that out. Am I going to be structured, or am I going to be my own thing?
Yeah.
And be your own thing.
Be your own thing. Thank you, Laurie, for being on the show. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody, tell people how they can get in contact with you, how they can reach out to you.
Yeah, AuntLauries.com, and Aunt is AuntLauries, like Sam. It's online. You can order. We're doing holiday now, so Thanksgiving, Christmas, you can do 1 or 100. You can customize them. Or my phone is 843-415-8230. And you can speak to Aunt Laurie personally.
Awesome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody out there listening. Don't forget to follow us and like us on Facebook and social media everywhere. Savannah Business Showcase. Thank you guys for listening. As always, be the change you want to see in the world. Take action, because we really don't have long on Earth. We only have one life to live that we know about, and we got to make the best of it. So go out there, take action, do something impactful, and help somebody close to you. Love you, everybody out there who's listening to us, and we'll see you next time.